Famous people with surprising cars. Leisure and wild spending have become synonymous with luxurious lifestyle that celebrities lead. Also, with all that spending comes all finely tuned and intricately designed cars that anyone would love to get their hands on. Brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, and the names we get accustomed to and associate well-known people with. While that may be true in most cases, some celebrities have decided to be a bit less mainstream with their car choices. This is MIA Luxury Cars, and today we're going to talk about the most surprising cars owned by famous people. Elon Musk. Elon Musk paid $1 million for this car, but the people that he bought it from only paid $100. As the story goes, back in 1989, a couple from Long Island paid $100 for a storage locker and found this 1976 Esprit inside. At first, they didn't know what they had until somebody passed them on the road and they were towing it home. Radioed them on the CB radio and said, "Hey there, good buddy. You know that's wet Nilly, right?" Turns out that the car was the Lotus Esprit used in James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me. And not just any Lotus Esprit used in the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, but the actual underwater one. Apparently, they call her Wet Nelly. They put her up to auction in 2013. A telephone bidder paid $997,000. That bidder was none other than Tesla CEO, professional spaceman Elon Musk. He's going to try and convert the Wet Nelly to a Tesla drivetrain and then see if he can make it transform from land to sea for real. Simone Giertz. Simone Giertz is one of the raddest people on YouTube. The engineer and self-titled queen of shitty robots has a long history of building machines that are hilarious, inventing home hacks that work, and sometimes just, fooling around. All in the name of science. Most recently though, Simone undertook the biggest build of her life. She made a Tesla truck before Tesla ever even frickin' made a frickin' truck. So we're here at Donut are no strangers to the world of incredible car customization. We're the guys that turned a Dodge Dakota into a Gucci flip-flop and then gave it to Bad Baddie. That took us a day. Simone and her team spent a year planning before they even made the first cut. Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri loves car. Now, you might have noticed that his cherry red 67 Camaro from the opening of his show, but what a lot of people don't know is that Guy has a bigger collection back home. And much like his Gayotti, the color choice of his car is little sus. I mean suspendus. That's right, Guy Fieri owns a ton of yellow cars. Now Guy's got a yellow CJ5 Jeep, a yellow Chevelle, a yellow Camaro, yellow Corvette, and a yellow Kodiak. Another yellow Chevette and a yellow Galandro, a yellow DB9. It's a freaking golden shower of cars and Guy's Fieri's house. Guy is a man of impeccable taste and an all-around really great man. Meek Mill. Meek Mill is from the city of brotherly love, but sometimes you gotta protect yourselves. So that's probably why he decided to invest in a Conquest Knight XV SUV. Built in Canada and limited to a production run to just 100. This armored go anywhere, go through anything SUV is powered by either a 6.7-liter Ford turbo diesel V8 or 6.8-liter V10. Conquest offers upgrades and options including a built-in oxygen survival kit, multiple armor levels. It's even got an under-vehicle bomb detection. Even more impressive is the price is $629,000. This thing is also close to a tank as you can get a legally if you got not a cop. It's definitely not the meekest car that you can buy. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is quite literally a massive car enthusiast. This dude is big. Here's a photo of him next to Bill Gates for a scale. Shaq's Ford S650 is a monster commercial-sized truck modified to look like a customer pickup. It has a ton of space for a gigantic man like Shaq, who makes the truck look pretty normal size. Also, it's called the Super Truck, and we all know that Shaq's nickname is a Superman. The These trucks starts around $70,000 from the Ford factory, and once it's modified, it can cost upwards to $200,000. But that's a drop in the bucket for a triple treat like Shaq. I mean, this dude has done everything from acting to rapping to being a karate video game. I also think that he played basketball. David Letterman. David Letterman is the second late night show host on this list and I really look up to, who also has a sick 690 sleeper. He owns a maroon Volvo 690 wagon with a freaking supercharged Ford V8 there. But it gets better. The original owner of this Volvo was Paul Newman, an actor, race car driver, salad dressing guy, and an all-around good man. The story goes Newman commissioned a company to build him a 960 with a 5-liter Ford V8. And then next week he called Letterman and they got to talking. Next thing Dave knows, Newman offered to the one built for him. And you don't say no when Paul Newman offers to build you a car. They stuffed a Ford 302 into the Volvo's engine bay and supercharged them for good measure. The result was 400 horsepower. Alfred Morris. Now this is the kind of story that just actually does warm your heart. Alfred Morris, former Washington football player, 49er, Cardinal, and a cowboy, as you can imagine, made some pretty good money during his career. And yes, for the majority of that career, this 1991 Mazda 626 has his daily driver. Now that he bought it from his college pastor in 2012, the year that he was drafted to Washington's football team, and to continue to drive it throughout his career because it reminded him of his humble roots. This did not go unnoticed, and eventually Mazda themselves stepped in and did a full restoration on the car from the frame up, spending over 4 months replacing every single nut and bolt and making this 626 factory fresh again. And as a homage to its roots, they decided to leave the college parking sticker on the windshield. Post Malone. He's the best way to put things in historical context. You can't argue with that. But he also has some pretty cool taste in cars. He's got a Hennessy 6X6, an LS Swap C10, and a Chiron, just to name a few. But the one that we love the most is Posty's 1992 Ford Explorer. Now this Explorer was originally bought for $1,700 and was turned into a slab car at the cost of over 70 grand. Now slab stands for cars that are slow, low, and banging. They usually have a display in their trunk and have massive speakers. Post's Explorer was notified by West Coast Customs. It has Lambo doors, huge 26-inch rims, and spinners. Lady Gaga. One of the most successful and influential musical artists of the last 15 years. Aside from Baby Goo Goo is Stephanie Germanotta, aka Lady Gaga. Gaga has a really awesome collection of cars. She's got an ivory green 66 Mustang, Chevy Nova SS, Ford Bronco, Lincoln Continental, El Camino. You got the idea, alright? Gaga loves classic American cars, but her most prized car just so happens to be one of the baddest trucks ever made. That's right, Lady G has a 1993 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning, and we just think it's so cool that Lady Gaga has one of these. Ludacris. Ludacris has a lot of money because of the rapping and the record company executing thing. The guy was in freaking Fast and Furious movies for Pete's sake. He can have any car he wants. He probably pretty much does. He's got a BMW i8, Rolls-Royce 4GT, and Acura NSX. But it may surprise you to know that Ludacris' favorite car, the car he loves above all of his other cars, is a different Acura, his 1993 Acura Legend. When he bought the car, it was literally his dream car in his dream color. And so through all of his successes, he's held onto it. He says that majority of his first full albums were written driving to and from the studio of this Acura, which is basically the equivalent of doing your homework on a school bus on your way to school. He describes the car as the most ideal balance of sophistication and luxury mixed with a little bit of sport, which he says fits his personality perfectly. I bet Ludacris is the nicest guy. Now Chris put an incredible 283,000 miles on his car, and which is further than the distance of the Earth to the moon. And then sadly, he's involved in a wreck that threatened to end the legend. Thankfully, Acura, knowing that the car meant to Ludacris, stepped in and made the vital repairs of restorations to make the legend feel brand new all over again. They even lowered it a little bit, added some big brakes and some raised wheels. To quote Ludacris himself, the legend was back and better than ever.